What's going on, my fellow gun fans? Before talking about the gun I'm going to try out today, I want to read off and pass this message along so it can possibly help all of us out there in the gun community. Okay, there's a U.S. representative in Georgia that has introduced a bill to remove the taxation and registration of suppressors because everyone knows you got to pay a $200 tax stamp. You got to go through that huge long waiting period for suppressors for registration through ATF, and then finally, if agreed upon, you'll get it. Heck, 3 months to a year later. So the this representative of Georgia has brought up this bill to take off all that, so you can get it just like a firearm. So knock on wood, hopefully this can go through and get the affirmation that it needs. But you can show your support by calling area code 202-225-3625. That's area code 202-225-3625. Just to show support on agreeing with this bill and get it passed. That way, suppressors, even though they're not, work the same as what you see in the movie and completely silent, it does take the decimals down to be able to shoot without hearing protection if necessary. So call that number. I'm going to probably several times just to show my my loyalty to that bill. So now getting on, going to go to the range today to fire a firearm that for us elderly, actually you could say, because there was a show that I used to watch in my younger days of this guy, huge guy that handled this firearm though you couldn't believe. He was so quick and fast at it, and it wasn't a sidearm or a pistol. It was a rifle, and that was the Rifleman. Absolutely love that show with Chuck Connor and the way he did that Rifleman show, and just thought, oh man, that gun is awesome. He's crazy how fast he can shoot. So today I am taking out the new Smith and Wesson 1854 Bodyguard. I'm sorry, Stealth Hunter. I don't know why Bodyguard came out. But this firearm feels fantastic. I'm going to take it to the range today. I had one similar to this. Actually, it was from Citadel, but I ended up selling it to get this firearm. And here's the reasons why I chose to do that. The Citadel had the top ejection port, so cycling it through, the shells would come up top, which that took approximately about that much of the Picatinny rail out if you wanted to put a red dot or something like that on top. So with that being said, and empty cases could come out and maybe hit you or land somewhere where you don't want to, especially when you're firing. So that was probably the main reason. The second reason was the slide portion that comes back, and I'll show you particularly what I'm talking about. This little portion right here, it's rounded off and it's not as sharp as my Citadel. The Citadel the metal came back and it was almost like a razor. So if you had your hand or something like this back there and it was too close, it would cut you. So that's the other reason why I got rid of that one for this one right here. For the Picatinny rail, I like the side ejection port better than the top, and that part is not going to injure you if it comes out and nicks you. So this is the gun I'm taking today. It's about 6.5 pounds, I think, weight wise. It's got the larger loop, has the ghost ring sight right there. So the little circle sight with the glow in the dark green sight up front. It's got the aluminum rail. It has that kind of AR-ish feel up top here, especially with the grip. It's got a threaded barrel for suppressor. And it just feels real good. It's light, compact. I think it's like a 16-inch barrel, but that's from back here to the trigger to that. It does have a flat trigger, which is very nice. So, and it's just a good feel. Like I said, it's my second one. I didn't shoot the first one, but this one will be my first shot of this style of rifle. Like I said, I've always kind of admired and wanted one ever since the rifleman and watching him shoot. But just gonna take this one out and try it out and see how it feels today. So this is the one we're taking out and gonna see how it performs. So I'll see you at the range. Thanks. Just want to thank Shooter's Roost again for letting me come out and review firearms at their facility. So thanks, Earl, and thanks at Shooter's Roost here in Shelbyville. And we're here now at Shooter's Roost to test the Smith & Wesson 1854, the Stealth Hunter. Just like the old, like I mentioned, the rifleman days with the loop action, lever action. So we're gonna test her out and see how she fires. I've already got them loaded up because these, being brand new, these side loaders aren't the easiest to load up. So let's try it out. Reload and try again. All right, load it up and let's try again. That's tight. As you can see, some of the loading it up and getting it to this point right there, it's wanting to catch. Now, it's brand new, first time I shot it. Maybe it needs just a little lubrication to help ease that flow up. But other than that, I bring it up to you. Like I said, this is my first lever action rifle, first time shooting this particular type of product. But just to show you the target. I mean, of course, there was my first set right there in the chest area. There was my second, was shooting in the head area. Now that I'm a little bit more accustomed, I was shooting at the number 5, and there's all the ones at the number 5. So extremely, very accurate rifle. But getting it, get that wear and tear and usage through it, I think will be best for that. This thing is, I mean, right on, dead on. It is extremely accurate. I'm gonna load 8 more up and do my last shot. All right, 8 more in on that target where the elbow, you see the silhouette sticking out right here. This is a number 0 right here. I'm gonna aim for and shoot in just to test accuracy and see how well it functions. So shooting for that this time just to see how well I can hit it on that 0. just all of them right in there. So pretty accurate. And that tightness of the lever, just because it's brand new, probably needs to be greased up a little bit and a little bit of usage, and the thing will probably be phenomenal. So great firearm. First lever action, that's all, folks. Lever action rifle, and it worked really nice. So, like I mentioned, I had one before that. I didn't like the cuts and the injection port, but this one is definitely one to write home about. So we'll follow it up and talk about this here in a little bit. Thanks. All right, we're back from the range on shooting the Smith & Wesson 1854, and it was fabulous, especially for a rifle that I haven't shot and something new to me. I think it really performed really well. Now, I did have some malfunctions myself, of course, with cocking and loading because of the stiffness. I haven't lubed it up or anything, so with it being brand new, it's probably expected. So I probably should have lubed that up, and it probably would have performed much better to what it did for me today. But it did fabulous, because the loading up here on the side is never fun, because it can get fingers or whatever. So it holds 8, one in the chamber. Like I said, there was with the cocking up and loading in, there was a couple that it didn't want to go in, I guess just because of being new and not being greased up. So probably over time with wear, that in lubrication, that will flow just perfectly. Mine's in 357. They come in multiple 44 mag, 410, 357. I prefer the 357 because you can shoot the 38 special through this as well. And this particular one I enjoyed or wanted because of the tactical look, the all black, and the long Picatinny rail. I mean, there's several out there that kind of similar to this, but I just like the color and the manufacturing style of this particular rifle, because I like the all black version. Henry's got the huge name. Have firearms somewhat close to this, but it's not as tactical, I guess you can say, as this one. But it shot great. I even let and this guy at the range shoot it. He was on point as well. I let him shoot 4 rounds. So, Steven, if you're out there and you're listening, send a reply and hit me up, and we'll meet back out there and shoot some more. So, but it was definitely well worth it versus the one I did have, and spending a little extra money for this one. I think the MSRP I think is $12.99, which if you shop around like I did, I found it considerably cheaper. I saved a few $100s, but it just takes time and patience looking around for one that's readily available. So definitely going to stay with me for quite some time. This was awesome. I will try to do some investigation about my suppressor to see if I can put that thing on here and try it with that. But lever action rifle, it was fantastic. So Smith & Wesson came through on this one. It was fabulous, and I'm going to lube it up and try to take it to the range again and shoot it again. So it was a fun firearm. It was because the accuracy is fantastic. So check it out, the Smith & Wesson 1854 Stealth Hunter. It worked and performed great. So yeah, check it out. Let me know. Check out the link, subscribe, put some comments down below if any other firearms, because I'm going to be just picking here and there. Probably another handgun that we should probably all have maybe next time. But let me know. Subscribe, comment, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.